Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Joe, the 50-something Dasher, and if you've been watching my videos and following along, you know that I've been in the process of transitioning to full-time gig work, and I finally have the dates here, and everything's now set, ready to go. It came all the way down to my last day in my old area, which was today, before I, knew for sure the start date of everything. So I'm going to part-time at my W-2, and it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday nights. So I'll go in at 3:30 in the afternoon. Uh, Tuesday will be a 10-hour day, and then Wednesday an 8-hour day. So that's the schedule, part-time, and I have to go to another department, but it starts this coming Tuesday. And of course, and then so I'll be going to, of course, full-time gig work, primarily DoorDash driving. That's probably going to start Monday, because tomorrow and Sunday we're going to be out of town, my wife and I, visiting family. We could do some gig work over the weekend, maybe, possibly. I doubt it, but you never know. And I'm anticipating going forward with this schedule. I'm anticipating doing, the gig work probably at least 6 days a week. I'm thinking on my Tuesdays, I'm probably going to wake up at the normal time I always do, and probably do the gig work till maybe like noon, somewhere in that range, 1 o'clock. I'll probably come home, eat, take a nap or whatever, and then go into the W-2 for that night shift. Is kind of what I'm thinking. And then we'll see about Wednesdays, how that goes. But it'll be an adjustment, but I think this is a good thing. Now, if by chance you are new to the channel and, don't know anything about this, seeing all this for the first time. So I have, like I said, I've been at my W-2 for over close to, you might as well say, around 26 out of the last 28 years, basically. Originally started in 1997. And I started doing DoorDash driving. It's this coming December is going to be 3 years. So basically, at the time, my hours dropped off at the W-2. I needed supplemental income, and I started doing it part-time. And at times, hours were so bad at the W-2 that I was making more money from the gig work than I was the W-2. So that's what I've been doing for the last 2.5+ years. Now, I'll throw a link to a past video I did. I'll throw the link in the description. I've done a video before, should you do full-time or should you do gig work full-time? And my short answer was no, you shouldn't. Okay, I'm about to do it. There's lots of other drivers out there. They're doing it, they're full-time, and maybe that's all they're doing. It's just gig work. They don't have a part-time W-2 like I'm going to have. But me personally, I would not advise someone doing that. And they're like, well, then why are you doing it then? Well, see, I've been doing this on a part-time basis for 2.5 years. Okay, so I've made, when I am out there dashing and everything, I pretty well know what to expect, how much I can make in a day's time, and everything has been pretty consistent for me. So things have changed over the last couple years. Like when I first started out, like about 3 or 4 months into doing gig work, I got on the large order program with DoorDash. And so that was helping me make the money that I needed. Catering orders, they didn't go away on DoorDash, but they really dropped off for me. But then that, I've talked about this before, that was replaced with the shopping orders replaced that. So that's what I primarily do now for DoorDash. And then I also have 4 other apps that I run on. And one of those, Deliver That, a catering app, I went 8 months without seeing an order or an offer, I should say. And then just, here recently, within the last couple weeks, I've all of a sudden been seeing orders again. And I've done a couple of them. And this past Monday, I did my highest paying single delivery ever of a $100 order. So I just got, paid that $100 today, actually. But anyway, again, what I'm kind of trying to say here is I've been doing this for like 2.5 years. I in the same market, and I've been making, consistent money with it. And I have DoorDash as primary, Deliver That. I also have Uber that I can turn to. So I'm not fully confident in this decision. I have to be honest here. Like, as far as full-time gig work, how comfortable and confident am I with the 5 apps that I have? I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 6. Okay, so this decision didn't come lightly. Okay, I wouldn't have done something like this just 6 months into my gig working, days. I needed more time and kind of like a track record and experience and all those types of things before I made this decision. So you want to just be like very, very careful. And I feel like I was prepared to quit the W-2 if they didn't give me a part-time position. So, but by them saying, hey, well, yeah, you know what, we'll go ahead and give you a part-time position. Well, then that makes this transition even easier for me. I can still have taxes, some of my deductions, that type of thing taken out of the W-2 paycheck while I'm doing this full-time gig work. So I think this is going to be a good situation and everything. And like I said, for anybody that's watching, that's thinking about doing gig work full-time, whatever the app, if we're talking about DoorDash or Uber or whatever app you're thinking about doing full-time, I would just say again, I just be very careful with a decision like that, and make sure that you've done this for a little while in the market that you're going to be doing it, and you have a good feeling of and a sense of how much money you can make. I mean, it'd be super, super risky just to jump full time into it without having any kind of history or track record, like I've done. I mean, I'm sure there's people that have done it, but man, that's risky. I would advise to be very careful with the decision. If possible, hey, have a part-time W-2 for tax purposes and all that kind of thing. Even if it was just, if you could find something that was just maybe like 16 hours a week or something like that, that's what I would recommend. But anyway, that's all I have for now. Again, this starts Monday. Really looking forward to it, and we'll see how it goes. And also starting next week, I should mention also that that's going to be the start of, I'm going to look for even more opportunities and possible apps that I can get on. I wanted to wait until I knew for sure the start date of my part-time at the W-2. And then I wanted to wait until I actually got to that point. And then now I'm starting next week, I'm going to do the heavy research and trying to, get on to even more things, look for more opportunities as well. That's all I have for now, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, be sure to drive safe out there, and we will catch you next time. Thanks again.